Michael Balderstone.
Shibu Martina.
My name's Andrew Cavasillo.
I'm Jack.
Hi, I'm Elspeth Jones.
Mac McMahon.
Hi, I'm Len Martin.
Hi, I'm Laura Craig.
Yeah. My name is Gerald.
Chris Collier.
Me, I'm Gilbert Laurie.
And my name's Satcher.
My name's Elbereth.
I'm Dr. Zam Scamira.
Well, I'm Simon.
Hello, my name is David.
I'm John Dallagher.
Hey, my name's Farron.
This talking head is Carly.
Okay, my name's Rusty Harris.
I'm Sam.
I'm Claire and I'm from Dublin.
I'm Kim and I'm a local.
G'day, I'm Don, Jingiwala in the local lingo.
I'm Jane Treasure.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Ray.
Archie, Chris and Robin Archibald.
Hello, I'm Phoenix. My name's Jamie. I'm Selena.
Hi, my name's Dave.
Hi, my name's Sashia.
My name's Lulu.
I'm Cam.
My name's Craig Rose.
Hi, I'm Star.
My name's Stan.
Hey, my name's Jav.
My name's Dave.
I'm Robin Francis.
Hi, I'm Sean.
My name's Anne Marie.
My name's Diane.
Hey, my name's Mark Labarde.
My name's Tim.
Originally I came here quite a few times looking, couldn't stand Australia, kept leaving Australia, kept going to India, spent a long time in India. Anyway, eventually came back, and when I had kids, thought better settle down, and went looking for a community or country, alternative living, and South Coast, and then Bellingham, and ended up coming here, I think because it was sort of, I wanted the core of the movement. Nimbin was the most real of anywhere, probably. And that was 1984, I think.
I'm living in Nimbin, probably now 18 years, and I came here because I heard of the alternative movement in Australia, especially here in Nimbin, and I came over for a visit 21 years ago, and then I got stuck here, fell in love, and I'm still here. Now I'm involved a bit with community issues. Like I'm in the management of the community centre, the management of the neighbourhood centre, the management of the Hemp Embassy.
When I was 17 and a half or so, birth circumstance made me an Aquarian, so I sort of pricked my ears up when the Aquarius Festival was on. I wasn't able to attend because I was doing public school at HSC in Victoria, but I saw naked adults with naked children building cubby houses in goodwill with no external authorities getting in the way, and I thought, interesting.
We are feeding from the Union. We are taking back the old Shire of Terrania, taking back the old boundaries, the empire, and then we're going to stop the war. That's our plan. That's what we're moving towards.
I came to Nimbin originally to buy some herb and to experience the town, and I noticed when I drove back to the Gold Coast where I lived, I felt this anxiety, this stress coming back in. And each time I went out to Nimbin, I felt more and more relaxed, and it wasn't because of the herb out there. I just found it's a different way of life, and I guess I live out there now because it was a therapeutic aspect of Nimbin that's really overlooked.
I run the Nimbin Cafe. I'm in Nimbin. I came to Nimbin for the first time in 1990. Originally from Sydney, spent 12 years in Darwin. We used to come down on holidays. All my life I'd heard about Nimbin. My parents always said keep away.
Well, I've been travelling around the world and seen all sorts of things. Every time I end up in a new place, I thought, geez, this is it. This is heaven compared to where I come from. Until you've been there for a little while and you start seeing all the hang-ups and stuff that they've got. Right, so I'd move on again. Eventually I found myself back in Australia, and I thought, no, Australia is really a good place to be. But where do I want to be? And the thing about Nimbin is that there's lots and lots of like-minded people. You know, and lots of people who have also done lots of travelling and stuff, so there's a lot to share here. Whereas back in the big smoke, I was just, what's the word for it, just lost, you know.
I met a Frenchman who later came to Australia, and we came here. And it was actually he that wanted to stay. In Nimbin, I was an art student at the time Nimbin was happening, and sort of, you know, more into the punk thing than the hippie thing. And thought it was all a bit of a wank, but coming here it was fantastic.
I've been in Nimbin now 2.5 years, and I came here because I had friends up here, and when I got here I couldn't believe how beautiful it was, and I thought I had found paradise. And I was living in a pretty stressful life in Sydney, really, and when I come up here, everything's been stress-free, you know, air pollution, good water, you know, absolutely a dream lifestyle.
I've been living in Nimbin for about 4 years now, and I think it's a fantastic place. We've been coming to Nimbin for the past 20 years, but only been living here before. And the more time we spend here, the more we fall in love with the place.
I'm from Columbia, Missouri in the U.S. Nimbin is using information and communication technologies to make the community more successful socially, economically, culturally.
I live at the rocks. This is what we call the Nimbinji, the Nimbunj, our creator. This is Nanya Nalina de Gala Nigala Nanya Jahanj. Joy? Me, I'm a custodian of this country.
And I'm actually the regional coordinator of the Community Technology Centre program, and I was a key person in setting up the Community Technology Centre in Nimbin. I live around Nimbin way, so as the regional coordinator, Laura's asked me to take her to a few CTCs, as we call them, and Nimbin's the first visit.
I came all the way from Western Australia to Nimbin. It was such a beautiful journey. All I could envisage was coming to Nimbin. And as I drove past Coffee Camp and through those trees, wow, my heart beat so much. That was about 5 years ago now. And as I still go through that part of the trees, it still reminds me of the first time I ever came to the region. I live in Lismore, in South Lismore. I come to Nimbin at least twice a week. I'm a great cook. I'm well known all around the world for my cooking.
And I'm living in Nimbin, and I just thought I'd show you a little bit of what I've learnt from the 17 years that I've been playing this instrument. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually tell stories through these instruments using sound to represent character and emphasise motion. For example, a kangaroo jumping through the bush. I'm passing through Nimbin very slowly, so I've become part of the place, whether I like it or not. There's many places one can live or stay in and around Nimbin. You don't really have to have a place. You can just be here pretty well. And the local community is fabulous in that they're very supportive, encouraging of new ideas and quirky sort of lifestyles and quirky lifestyle options, alternatives and all that.
So today's Malta is going to have this daily ration of medicinal cannabis. He does this very often. Every day he comes, maybe once or twice. That's problem. And we roll him a big fat joint because he says his best medicine, and he seems like it is good for his physical condition. And look at him, he's so happy. He's so happy.
I live in Nimbin because there's good pot here, and I stay here because there's good pot here. A kookaburra.
I originally came to Nimbin because I've been looking in the area for over a year, being honest to landlords about I need a place for 2 dogs. In 6 months looking every week, I found 2 places that say, oh, you can have one, but you've got to get rid of the other one, and we'll let you stay here. So eventually I found a place up Blue Knob, just out of town in Nimbin here, where I could have both my dogs and a beautiful little place. So that's what brought me to Nimbin.
Like I go into Lismore to the grocery store trying to buy some food or some products or something, and everything has got all these bad things in it.
I've come to visit my nephew and his wife, and I'm from England, Birmingham.
Or ingredients, but if you're just, and I feel bad taking that stuff back to our property.
Well, so far very interesting. Smells nice anyhow, very nice.
Any places like this in Birmingham?
No, not at all. Nothing like this.
Like, for example, I wanted to wash my hair one day, but all the shampoo's got all this bad stuff in it, and a whole list of it.
This is why they brought us here, really, I think, to have a look around. It's, it's different.
But if you go here, you can just buy like a bar of soap that you can use that's just vegetable oil, and then I don't have to worry about the stuff going into the garden and making it sick.
Well, I wore cheesecloth myself in the 60s,
I can tell.
You can tell, can't you?
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah. Wore cheesecloth. She's got long skirts, long hair. Yeah. In the 60s.
Like, and also it making me sick and stuff on my, because it's bad stuff.
Did you get stoned and miss it?
No, we didn't do that. We just missed that.
Oh.
I come out just after we was just a bit too old.
Dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, there's an opportunity here, you can always...
I know that's what they're trying to have a go at.
It's so great to be able to have all the natural things. Like we've got a big beautiful veggie garden that we can just eat out of that.
I will go. They're taking the mickey out of me outside.
The main reason why I came here was just because of knowing about the lifestyle. Because my parents sort of lived like this in their day, back when they were young. And I just think it's great because of it's all natural, live off the earth and things like that, and not hurt it.
I was just cruising around Australia, just looking for somewhere I belong basically. I rocked into Nimbin, people were broke, people of the town just sort of took me in and helped me, and it's just a friendly place to be honest.
Came here for political freedom after the persecution of the 1971 and 72. Where we were disgusted with the government of this country, and this was an area of relative liberty and freedom.
I came here because I feel that I'm a member of the earth, one of the children of the earth, and I've seen the spirit. So I'm trying to help mankind move on, shall we say, or the children of the earth, and tell them that the earth is to be a garden. It's to see the life of the universe, so it's time to stop the bullshit. Started getting into it, like getting cows out the creek, get rid of the barbed wire. If you want to smoke, smoke. If you want to eat it, it's up to you. It's like doing the breaststroke or the overarm or whatever you want to do. So, to me, my duty is to keep the future for my children, which is my future. And as far as I know, it's a garden. That's what we're here on earth. That's why they made the earth. That's what it's about.
Welcome to the Hemp. I'm Sam. I'm not the owner, but someone has to run it, and I've been elected to run the Hemp because I've been living in Nimbin for 20 years, and it seems like if I know a bit more the communities and a lot of people, and every day I meet people like this. Look at this. Say look.
I'm Claire, and I'm from Dublin, and I'm just travelling through. Oh, it seems like a lovely town. We've only been here about an hour. It's been really nice.
And I've been here for 3 or 4 years, and I smoke cannabis. I'm a cannabis user, and it's probably one of the main reasons that I came to Nimbin originally. I came up here on holidays from Victoria, and I liked the warmth and the friendliness and the local part, and I've been here ever since.
Dingoes howl afar.
I came up here in the very beginning of the 80s and with a wife and a couple of kids and some filthy attitudes, and very soon got catapulted out of the place because I wasn't ready for it. And I was away for a long time. I've been back 6 years this time. And there's nowhere else I can be myself, nowhere else that challenges me to the extent that Nimbin does, so that I can find myself.
Been living in Nimbin for 11 years, which is as long as I've lived anywhere in my whole life, so that says a lot about where I want to be living. I love Nimbin because it's a village, we know everybody, we know all their families, and we get to make a difference here too. Today I'm working in the Hemp Embassy, which is a job I love. We're volunteers in here, and the money that we put through the till goes towards all sorts of actions for cannabis law reform. In another life, I'm also a ganja fairy, and we're a bunch of women with an average age of about 47, which we're really proud of.
I first came to Nimbin just over there, actually, 1974. I bought a share of Tunnable 75, and I went back to the city, and I always wanted to come back, always did, and I finally made it back in 86. And the reason I'm still here is community. I live on a really nice community. I like the people. I've got really good friends, and I'm very, very happy.
Emu, walking about, catching a feed. that's how you tell a story, through the instrument, which is known to the traditional people as the yidaki. Now what I'm going to show you now is something that was inspired by Nimbin, and this here is using language, the English language, to make up rhythm, because traditionally we use traditional language. Right? And this here is called Be the One. If you listen to the rhythm, you'll hear it saying Be the One. And what I mean when I say Be the One is be the one to make a change in your life and other people around you. So here you go. Thank you very much. Be the one.
I'm the licensee in charge and partner here at Nimbin Lifestyle Real Estate. I'm just quietly making a bit of lunch in the back room of the office. I didn't actually think I was going to be a real estate agent when I first came here. But I went to a party and all these people were talking about property and land and stuff, and it's really quite intoxicating. I found myself talking more and more about property and real estate as time went by. And
legally, he is not allowed to.
Then I became a real estate dealer, I suppose you would have to call it, and went to night school, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
I love this area because I've been living here all my life. I have heaps of friends here, and I wouldn't like to move at all. I just reckon it's really peaceful. I go to Copycat Public School, and I love the school. It's a great school, and I've lived here, I think it's nearly 9 years now, and I really like it here. It's just my home. I go to Coffee Camp too, and it's really cool because you get to do really fun things that other schools don't get to do, and living in Nimbin's a really good experience, and I love it because I've only just moved here about 2 years ago.
I work at the Emporium here. We run the supermarket and the health food shop upstairs. The reason I'm in Nimbin still is, well, my family's been here for about 5 generations. My family came here originally for the dairy farming and the logging of the area, but it's since settled into many different aspects of employment in the area. My family's taken on the Emporium here, and we work very long hours and very hard, and we live here because we like it. We've always been here, probably always will be.
My mum bought a shop, so I moved here and just helped with the shop about 7 years ago. And then Mum bought a house, and so I've just been here ever since, just working in the cafe. I just like it's easy going, it's easy to live here. The people are generally pretty nice. Other than that, I'm just sort of got stuck here.
I've come to Nimbin because, well, I suppose economically the opportunity arose that I could actually do it, and fruit and veg was actually my partner's passion, and although he has a law degree and and a degree in applied science, and I was doing uni for 3 years doing art and education. We both decided we'd much prefer to do a bit of hands-on work and build up a little business in fruit and veg, because it's such a good thing to do and it makes people happy, and we're going to provide a really good quality, cheap fruit and veg, and it's fun.
I first came to Nimbin for a cup of coffee one Saturday morning and sort of got kidnapped by the Hemp Embassy. I came to help them set up their computers and get Mardi Gras organised about 6 years ago. Now it seems to be running okay. In the meantime, I sit around the streets and I do tarot cards for tourists and for kids that might have problems. I don't charge much money. It's more about just communicating with people.
I run Mukdang Thai cafe, and I think you'll find that a lot of people are in Nimbin are really pleased with the street safety they have here compared to some other cities and towns that aren't so fortunate.
I've been in Nimbin for 25 years and my family's been here since 1908. I think it's a great place to live and I'm not leaving.
Basically, I get a chance to sell really good food, like organic food, so I'm beginning to realise how important that is for health, and I think people in Nimbin would really appreciate that, because you can come and get good quality food and counteract the effects of everything else, so I like that.
I originally started down in Wollongong. Being here's been really good. It's a very open and accepting community. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what's in your blood, whatever, it's actually who you are and what you stand for. If you've got views, political aspirations, whatever, you say them.
I'm here in Nimbin. This is my shop. It's called All Tribes. I've been here in Nimbin about 4 years. I'm an activist with the Hemp Embassy, and we do environmental blockades and protests with peaceplus.com. Reason I'm in Nimbin, it's a place where you can make your dreams realities, you can create your realities. If you have imagination, you can make that imagination transform into whatever you're trying to create. That is the alternative capital, the alternative to being told what to do all your life, being told you must submit to other people's authorities when you don't. You can create your own realities. This one here is an example of that. I hope you enjoy what you see with All Tribes and what you've seen around Nimbin, because it's a very special place in Australia.
Now what people don't realise is this here is one of the oldest synthesizers and one of the oldest amplifiers known to man. Baba! Right? So what we're looking at here is one of the first things that people put their mouth to make themselves louder. Right? And this here, what I'm going to show you now is the 5 different parts of my body that I'm using to play it. First thing is my cheeks, right? Right, that gets that sound. Then my jaw. Right, then my tongue. Right, then your voice, that we use to mimic animals. Right, so whatever we can mimic, that's basically it. So with this one, that's just to give you an idea, right? Then the last bit we're actually using is the diaphragm. And this is a major part that comes in after playing for a while. So you have a listen, it adds that bassy beating to it. Basically the diaphragm, my tongue, my cheeks and jaw all working together.
I ended up moving out here to Nimbin a few years ago. I used to work at the Department of Housing in Lismore and got sick of that. The town thing, you know, everyone's kind of get a little bit uptight out here. People are so friendly, everyone's your friend, and it's just makes you feel good, you know, to be a part of a close-knit community.
I live here at Janbung Gardens, right on the edge of Nimbin village. I've got 5.5 acres here, and it's a permaculture training centre. We get people from all over Australia and from overseas coming here to learn about design for sustainable systems, sustainable agriculture, eco-housing and earth-friendly lifestyles. I really enjoy living here in Nimbin. We've got a wonderful community. There's many layers to the community, and it's very creative, very vibrant, very proactive. A lot of good things come out of this place.
I came to Nimbin when I was 4 years old, so I grew up in the area. I work here in the area. I'm a bar manager. I've got 2 stepkids. They both go to school in the area, and I want to see this area in 10 years' time and where it's going to go in the future.
I'd have been told many years ago you'd be 45 and be in Nimbin. I don't think I would have actually believed it. Nimbin I had an opinion of, and my family had an opinion of, as it probably being a drug-based centre, and most people couldn't keep their life together, or they were hippies that hid in the hills. I ended up in Nimbin through an extremely violent situation. I found myself to be in the intensive care at Nimbin Hospital. I will say now, 12 months later, that had it not been for the care or the community or the people of Nimbin, that I most likely would not be alive today. And what shocked me more than anything was what a caring community, how they looked after the children in the area as such, how they had jungle patrol, and how overall as a community I saw them function better than anywhere, and I've lived in many places in Australia. I live in Nimbin. Actually I live at Blue Knob. Been out here I guess for about 18 years. Born and bred in this area, so I guess I got quite an affection for the community, for the area. For me though, Nimbin's full of difference and diversity, and it's a potpourri of incredibly challenging and interesting and wonderful people.
I'm part of the community, Nimbin Central School community. I'm involved with the school, I'm involved with the radio station, I'm involved with the fire brigade. I love my community. I'm involved with Mardi Gras, I'm involved with the Lantern Parade in Lismore, I'm involved with, I've also been involved with Kyogle's Fairy Fest. Yeah, all those things. I love this area. I love this community. I came here about, I think it was 1981. I came here for 1 week's holiday to visit my mother. My mother had actually moved up here. She'd lived here for a year. She doesn't live here anymore, but geez, I fell in love with the place and I'm still here.
I grew up not far from here at a place called Canorigan. I used to come to this town as a young child. My parents brought me here for various reasons, mostly social, down at the bowling club, which we're sitting in at the moment. And I saw this town as a very peaceful town when I was a child.
Because I was passionately engaged in that all through my childhood, building cubby houses and building recycled materials. So anyway, I found myself a hippie without knowing it, because I was sort of inclined to that way of expressing ourselves, you know. So when I was 21 and came to the Nimbin community in the flesh for the first time, I did find a peer group for the first time in my life, and country too, that sung me up, and I sort of fell in love with the country and the contents almost without realising it. And now, nearly 30 years down the road, I can say I've been just trying to honour that initial overwhelming feeling of coming into your own, coming into a community of like-minded creatures.
I'm attracted to the international feel of it. There's quite a lot of international people living around the hills, and and the local people, you know, they're all making Nimbin so special. I think community
in the way I was dreaming and thinking of it is happening here to some point, and there's always a way to make it better. But I think for the way the world is in and the stage we are in of madness out there with the war on drugs, war on Iraq, etc., I think we're doing a pretty fine job here. For sure, there's always some things which are over the top, but that's just everywhere happening. And Nimbin is a one-street town, I must say. Everything is more open, more directly there. When I talk to tourists and they come here on a bus from Byron Bay for 2.5, 3 hours, well, they just see the main street. They don't know about the communities out there, the life out there, and what it all embeds by sharing facilities like tractors, gardens, etc., where it really comes down to sharing your life a little bit. So that's why I'm here in Nimbin, and I hopefully will be here for much longer.
I finally came here to move, bought a share on a community in the Tweed Valley, and that's been great. And now sort of live in a homemade place that's in the middle of a jungle. The garden's become a jungle. But got involved from the beginning in the community. Started the museum in the first few months I was here. I sort of wanted something to do. And always liked good old junk, practical stuff. Collecting stuff from the tip and around about, and had this second-hand shop. And then my relationship fell apart, and that was a mess. And I didn't have the motivation for it, but it was a good junk shop, so we turned it into a museum with other local artists. So that's been a big focus for me, the museum behind here, for the last 10, 11 years now, I think.
Excuse me.
Meanwhile, the Hemp Embassy happened with Bob Hopkins, and I really came in to help Bob. And he changed his name to End Prohibition, stood politically. We got the Mardi Gras going, and that's ended up taking over heaps of my life.
What I do now is quite different, I suppose, from what I started out doing. I fell into a role at the Hemp Embassy in which we lobbied and we rattle the cage about prohibition on cannabis in Australia. But in amongst that, I found a pretty serious side of things, and there was avenues and ways in which, us as activists, us as Australians, fellow Australians, could get the word out and do things that were proactive, that weren't legal, but weren't really illegal or any, real criminal activity. I ran a cannabis cafe for 3 years where we sold cannabis openly, over the counter. Stopped abruptly in 2001 when the 17 police came in. I got charged and taken away, but it was, at the end of the day, after the court cases, it wasn't too bad, and certainly I'd never go down that way again.
If we've got a situation where tobacco is legal and alcohol is legal and marijuana is illegal, we've got a bit of a discrepancy going on here, I think they either all have to be illegal or all have to be equally legal. This is the main cause for all the shit that goes on, the corrupt coppers and the corrupt judges and the corrupt everything, all because of something being made illegal.
It's a bit like King's Cross in the country. Or if you can imagine a sideshow that you come across in the middle of a dark night, it's a very strange place. It's fascinating for that. And being an artist too, I just really appreciate the colour and of everyone else's work and being able to be a part of it and painting on all the awnings and what have you. It's just a wonderful thing. And that's what I was doing before I came here. So the opportunity to do that, it's like travelling permanently and being still permanently.
I was an acupuncturist and health and lifestyle consultant, Chinese herbalist. I worked in prisons, worked for people with HIV/AIDS, and did a lot of things around the health industry. It's hard to do that up here, but I am working for the Medical Cannabis Information Service and find my talents are being used there.
Okay, one of the things I've been involved with has been the Nimbin Meets Doctors Rural Action Group, and we're finding it very difficult to attract doctors to Nimbin. One of the things I'm gearing up is to literally write a piece for the web, why Nimbin is such a wonderful place to live. So I can see some of the cuts from this program being very useful to us to attract doctors to Nimbin. Thank you, sir.
Oh, it's just the whole laid-back lifestyle, really. Everybody knows everybody, and you can do what you want, and basically if you don't fit in here, you won't fit in anywhere.
I think that Nimbin is a really great place. I think there's a lot of people here with a lot of very innovative ideas about community and what it means to be a community. And I hope to come back soon.
When I first came out here, was back in the 60s. Dance with my grandmothers and dance with my grandfathers. And all this land around here, we got some very special places where people are not allowed to walk. We got men's place, we got women's place, which we respect. We got other people out there who disrespect. They don't care where they live. We're as custodians, we try to look after our land.
Nimbin is a really lovely place. I've lived around Nimbin for about 14 years. If you look around, you see how much community spirit is around this place. Look at the murals on the top, the people walking around interacting with each other.
But I also am a great face painter and I'm a great people's person. I love talking to people. I love all the tourists as they come into town, and I have a chat with them and sell them my beautiful cooking, and but not necessarily sell them. I chat. I'm a grandmother. I'm a mother. I've got 3 grandchildren and 4 children, and of my own. And we've lived in this area now for what, 18, 19 years. I love it. I grew in Western Australia, but it's too cold there for winter. I love this area. Sunny days in winter and colder nights. It's yum.
It's a great place if you're a cannabis smoker, and usually you can have a free run here. You don't really, somebody will always spare you a bud. You don't really even have to have any money to live here. You can live quite, but you just got to be able to get on with people and just basic common respect. And things, and you do all right. There's some heavy element. There's every element that's in the wider communities here. So that there's sort of the downside, the dark side of Nimbin, but generally it's a brilliant place to either live or just come and get new ideas, or share share what you got. And yeah, it's fun.
Where do you reckon the mobile phone is? Through that stick. That's right, mate. Once upon a time, this is what the mobile phone looked like. This is called Telstra Dreaming, right? And this was created by myself and Russell Dawson. Right? He came up with this concept, and I improvised with it a little bit and turned it into what I do. He does a similar version as well. And this here is called Telstra Dreaming, dreaming about all your money. I'm going to make a phone call to my mate Jono, because everyone in Australia's got a mate called Jono. If you haven't got one, I've got 2, I'll give you one. So I'm going to call up Jono, tell him I'm down in Nimbin. And I'm not scoring any drugs, believe it or not. I'm playing through one of the biggest chillums that most people have ever seen. Alright, so here we go. Telstra Dreaming.
Then I started to realise what a great place and a special place it is, that I can be myself. I can not get looked at as a second-class citizen for being who I am and what I believe in. I can live what I want to experience in life. I ran the Environment Centre for a while, which was a good experience for me, and taught me about running a shop and entails. And then we've moved on to getting our own business.
The best thing I find about smoking marijuana is the smell. It's like smoking the bakery.
Still here because I work here. I run a software development business out in the hills. I don't have hot water. I wash in a bucket. I have almost no overheads of life compared with the Australian average. I use about 1/10 of the normal average resources, and I'm too busy to care. And you see the car, which actually dates from 1973, would you believe the car? I've been driving it around here for 30 years. What else? It's just very simple and easy living here.
It's about worms, it's about planting, it's about food and sharing, because we're all one. Inside the spirit, it's all made of gold and sparkling substance. It's awesome, absolutely. And to get in and have a look, you need to just surrender to yourself, let go. It's there. And that's the hardest thing to do. And once you do it, then you'll know. See, the authorities, or the bullies out there, who's killing our brothers and sisters and little children overseas, telling me that I can't use cannabis, are the same people who's putting hundreds of tons of cyanide and arsenic in the river, Timbara, and then the police are there defending them do it. So, who's right or wrong?
First came to Nimbin, all I'd seen was the documentaries about the drugs and the heroin and everything, and that's what I was imagining Nimbin being. But I think it's a lot more than that. There are some intelligent people in Nimbin, and it's a real communal, tribal, almost sort of lifestyle, which I really enjoy. And I've got children too, so I love the fact that you can come into Nimbin and bring your kids into Nimbin, and you can go off in your little separate ways, and the community will look after you in that way. You know that I know I can trust that my children are out there walking around and that they're safe.
It's also a place where I can be free to a far greater extent than anywhere else I've ever found. It sits in a magnificent environment that both pleases me and excites me in an energy sense. And the folks are bearable.
Being Ganja Fairies, we're green, loud activists. We're out there, we're dancing, we're making noise, we're changing the message. We went down to Sydney for Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras as part of the medicinal cannabis good medicine crew, and that's fabulous. We get world coverage with that, probably 6 million people watching us. We've just had our fabulous Mardi Gras here, and that was a lot of fun. The rain stayed away, we danced, probably 15,000 people in town, and it'll happen again next year and the year after and the year after until there's an end to prohibition.
Well, this town has been a place I've worked for 15 years, so I just remember the kids at the school, working at the school, all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, it's also a centre of counterculture in Australia. I've been working on drug law reform since 1993, so obviously Nimbin is an important place, one place we can get our message out. So, yeah, the herb is important, but just getting your fingers in the soil is great.
I found Nimbin inspiring, really, too. I mean, the Hemp Embassy is there, and people who are radical, and there are artists and poets and talented people who live out there, people who are escaping the quality or the lack of quality of life in the cities. It inspired me, and when I came up against the oppression of herbs, out there I felt inspired. In the city we could not have done what we do in Happy High Herbs. We basically are a herb movement because we believe that people should have the freedom of choice to partake of any herb that they wish to. Government should have no say in what people can or shouldn't have, and especially when they aren't dangerous, and most of these herbs that are banned aren't. There really is a pressure on herbs, and living in Nimbin and out there gave me the courage to stand up for our rights, our basic rights, for herb freedom and all our freedoms, really.
And I stayed here because I've got some great mates around the place. And it's like being in a friendly family society, like tribal. It's a good hippie retirement village, really, and I quite enjoy it. Now I'm getting older and getting on in years. I don't need to move too far. And Nimbin's got practically everything I need.
Like most people going through various stages of midlife crises, every 4 or 5 years I examine everything to see if there are greener pastures anywhere. Nimbin keeps coming up with more ticks in the box than any other place I can come up with, and I think it's a sense of community more than anything that keeps me here. It's amazing how just a group of people in a cafe at very short notice can magic up $1,000 for some individual little benefit for somebody that normally wouldn't attract enough attention from bigger bodies to give them any money.
For the business. I got sick of driving out from the beach.
So where were you before this?
Byron for a few years. Originally I'm from Manly, Sydney.
And how would you compare your experience here as opposed to the Byron experience?
A lot better actually. A lot more open-minded, and it's not so much about the money.
And if you look it up in the Oxford English Dictionary, you'll find it under another heading, and that heading is here. It means named after one town.
Do a better trade than most shops in this one. A lot of meat eaters out here.
But they're all vegetarians, though?
No, we're not all vegetarian.
Do it yourself. They say roll your own, but I'm not particularly a smoker. We make people's solar power systems, repair them, recycle things, and write software. Right now we're working on a lemon myrtle drying plant over at Dunoon. We're rejigging all the computer control on it, so it can put out a ton of dry leaf every day. So I don't know what they think about Nimbin. It's an intellectual centre at the North Coast. Maybe that doesn't quite square with the public opinion of Nimbin, I don't know. I see a lot of tourists around here that are obviously coming to see the pot being smoked publicly. But to me that's only a lesser aspect of Nimbin.
There's my big baby. I look like a date. I should have won. Do you want me to put on your naughty top from your shop?
I want you just to get off the bus and just be natural.
I suppose the uniqueness about this town is probably the huge diversity of the population. Like, for example, we've got retired lawyers and barristers living in the hills. You know, we've got people living in the hills just trading shares constantly. In fact, there's a couple of recording studios around the area, and one of the pioneers of the internet music industry actually lives up on Mount Nardi. Nimbin's very, very unique. Everybody has an interesting attitude here. It's very carefree.
Our first day, we came in when Mardi Gras was happening, and it was the first day of Mardi Gras, so it was absolutely bedlam and full on. I had a few people helping me, and my daughter was helping me, and it was great. We had the people from Fat Pizza come in and do some signatures on our cool room, and they're quite amusing, and it was just fun.
Imagine myself living anywhere else, and the longer I live here the more I treasure it. And it's something that's very interesting for a lot of the people that come here to do the training programs. Many of them have sort of seen media stuff about Nimbin and come here in fear and trepidation, and go away as converts. You wouldn't believe how many people have come here to do a 2-week permaculture course and have ended up settling in the area. Next door to me here is, next door to Janbang Gardens, is Jalamba. It's a permaculture designed community. It was New South Wales' first community title and was instrumental in changing the state laws on rural residential development. And Jalamba has been noted by the New South Wales Planning Department as being the best example of best practice ecologically sustainable development for rural residential design.
Being a teacher's aide, I head down to Sydney 4 times a year to do my Bachelor of Education, and I'm going down there on the plane. When I come back from Sydney on the plane, they search me for bombs, you know, and I'm getting totally sick of it. And every time, you know, I'm thinking, the glasses, the goatee, are they stereotyping me for someone from the Middle East? Anyway, so, you know, I'm really getting the jack of that. And come back here, you know, it's just totally different atmosphere. You know, people are very uptight down Sydney, and it's really good to get home.
I feel that anybody of any nature can certainly fit in here and feel their place and feel their home, as I feel I'm home every time I come back here, every time I work here, every time I come in here just to socialise with a beer with my mates. I love it. What people assume it to be. My family were from political persuasion and background and always found it a bit of a joke with me. Cliche, you'll end up in Nimbin one day, meaning you'll end up being a hippie in Nimbin or something. They have no concept. I found this to be probably one of the best functioning places in Australia.
It seems as though we've been bombarded with so many influences, so many different government issues, so many different political reasons for us to be chaotic.
I love smoking, and I've got kids, you know, I've got a son. I feel that I'm attached to everyone. I love helping people. City life is too hard. I was born on 2 feet. My mother had nothing. We've had to pay rent to a landlord for the whole of our existence. We don't know who the landlords are. All we know is that they drive the roads and leave us in poverty, and we have to fight for everything, you know.
Medical use of cannabis is that's huge, I suppose. For me at the moment, that's what I'm doing most of, a lot of my time. Just written a book on the medical uses of cannabis, and so by publishing this book now we've fulfilled another need of, you know, informing doctors and other medical practitioners and the public, if they choose to, of the basic and broad basic understanding of the huge amount of medical controlled research that's been done around the world. And so, you know, I relied heavily on quoting that. There's 280 references to, you know, some of the most up-to-date medical research going on cannabinotherapy. So there was that much out there. Anyone could really just have grabbed a heap of that info, condensed it down, brought it together and put it into a context. But the added bonus with the book that we have produced is that it has real cannabis that's been analysed to give you an idea of what's in there.
And now, nearly 30 years down the road, I can say I've been just trying to honour that initial overwhelming feeling of coming into your own, coming to a community of like-minded creatures and being able to make an honourable marriage and a giveaway of a life presence within that, with all that entails, loss, gain, you know, having and not having, pleasure and pain, and sharing the process, you know, and trusting the process. So, you know, I guess at this stage, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that a young man had to make vows of that intensity and depth and run with them, because they carry me still, and nothing can separate me from them at this point.
How are you?
How was your day?
Good.